Ready for a superpower?
I'm always up for a good superpower.
Well, today's deep dive is all about gratitude.
And gratitude, huh?
And look, we're going way beyond just like saying thank you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Beyond the basics.
Exactly. We're digging into this piece called The Power of Gratitude.
I like where this is going.
And the goal, to figure out how a tiny shift in focus, just thinking a bit differently, can lead to some pretty big changes. In your well-being, in relationships, even, get this, in physical health.
Wow. Okay, now you've got my attention.
Have you ever noticed there are some people who just seem to handle life's, ups and downs
Yeah, they seem to glide through it all.
with a bit more grace? We're going to figure out what they're doing differently.
I'm ready to unlock this superpower.
So gratitude, it's not about ignoring the tough stuff, right?
Right, right. It's not about pretending everything's perfect.
It's about, even when things are rough, actively choosing to see the good.
Yeah, it's like choosing to focus on, I don't know, like savoring an amazing meal.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Even if the plate's got a tiny chip in it.
Exactly. You're choosing where you put your attention.
And this piece, the power of gratitude, really highlights how that choice, to focus on what we have instead of always dwelling on what's missing, that can be huge.
Totally. So picture this, right? Two people stuck in traffic. Ugh, the worst.
We've all been there.
One person is just fuming, stressing, complaining about everything.
Yep, been that person too, unfortunately.
The other person, they put on a podcast, they enjoy the scenery, they find something positive. Same situation, totally different mindsets.
And that difference in how you think about it, that really does have an impact.
Huge impact. Not just on your mood, but like we were saying, on your physical health too.
There's so much research coming out now that's showing this link.
I was reading about it. It's pretty amazing.
People who make gratitude a regular practice, they report better sleep.
Oh, yeah. Sleep is key.
Less of that stress hormone, cortisol.
Yeah. Cortisol, the enemy.
And even, get this, fewer colds and flu symptoms.
Wait, seriously? Just from being grateful, you get fewer colds?
I know, right? Almost sounds too good to be true.
I thought so too.
But there's science backing it up.
So how does that even work?
Well, one theory is that gratitude actually helps regulate our autonomic nervous system.
Okay, back up a second. Autonomic nervous system, for those of us who...
Sure, it's the system that controls things like your heart rate, digestion, all that automatic stuff happening behind the scenes.
Oh, got it.
So by choosing to focus on the positive, we're kind of sending a signal to our bodies like, hey, things are okay.
Interesting. So we're calming the system down.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which helps us relax. And when we're relaxed, we just function better, more efficiently.
So gratitude, it's not just about feeling good. It's actually good for our bodies.
It's influencing our biology, absolutely.
That's so cool. But it's not about forcing ourselves to be happy all the time, right?
No, not at all. And that's where the power of gratitude talks about this interesting distinction between what they call state gratitude and trait gratitude.
State versus trait. Okay, what's the difference?
State gratitude is that temporary, fleeting feeling of thanks. Like when someone holds the door for you, you feel a quick burst of gratitude.
I can relate to that.
But trait gratitude, that's something deeper. It's more of a ingrained part of who you are, a disposition.
So someone with trait gratitude, they're just naturally more inclined to see the positive.
Exactly. It's like a muscle you can build.
Okay, so how do we build that gratitude muscle? I know the source lays out a few key strategies for us.
It does, and it starts with something really simple. Daily journaling.
Oh, I've heard about this. Just writing down what you're grateful for.
That's it. Just jotting down 3 things each day, no matter how small, can make a big difference.
3 things. Doesn't sound too hard.
Nope. And the cool thing is, this simple act actually helps to rewire our brains, to notice the positive more easily.
Hold on, rewire our brains. What does that even mean?
So our brains are incredibly adaptable, thanks to this thing called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. Sounds complicated.
It's actually pretty straightforward. Every time we think something, do something, neural pathways in our brains are strengthened. So by regularly focusing on gratitude, we're basically making those pathways related to positive emotions stronger.
So we're literally changing our brains just by writing down a few things we're thankful for.
Pretty amazing, right?
That is amazing.
And it changes how we see the world around us. It's like training ourselves to notice the good, even on those really tough days.
This reminds me of those gratitude letters, taking the time to write a thank you note to someone who's made a difference in your life.
Yes, gratitude letters, powerful stuff.
I was reading that even weeks after writing and delivering these letters, people reported feeling happier, less depressed.
It's amazing how expressing gratitude to others actually boosts the positive effects, and it doesn't have to be some huge, elaborate thing.
Right. A simple thank you goes a long way.
Exactly. It can be thanking the barista who made your coffee, sending a quick text to a friend, just acknowledging the good.
You know what? That reminds me of something I did recently. I wrote a thank you note to a professor I had in college, someone who really inspired me. And I was surprised by how good it felt, just to express that gratitude.
It's powerful, isn't it?
It really is. And imagine, if we all made an effort to do that more often.
The ripple effect could be incredible.
And that brings us to the third strategy from the power of gratitude. Pausing and just taking a moment to reflect, especially when you're stressed.
So important. Instead of getting totally overwhelmed by everything that's going wrong,
Right, because it's so easy to get caught up in the negative.
it is. But if we can just take a breath and try to find one thing, just one thing to be thankful for in that moment.
It can shift your whole perspective.
Exactly. It's not about pretending the challenges aren't there.
Right, it's about finding a little bit of light, even in the darkness.
And there's always something to appreciate, even in the toughest of times.
Your health, a supportive friend, a roof over your head.
Those simple things can make all the difference.
And that's kind of the big question that the power of gratitude leaves us with. What if we treated gratitude not just as a nice feeling, but as a skill, a skill we can actually develop and get better at?
That's a great point. It's like, what if we approached it the way we approach learning a new language or a musical instrument?
Exactly. With practice and intention, how would that change the way we interact with the world?
Wow, that's a powerful thought. Imagine how our relationships could transform, our outlook, maybe even the world as a whole.
So listener, I'm curious, what are you grateful for today?
Yeah.
Take a moment, think about it, and let's keep that ripple of positivity going.
Absolutely. Let's make gratitude our superpower.